Greetings and salutations, Master B's and Robbins, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio. All the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio. And you're listening to the African Diary Show with Patty. Massive. Turn off the lights,
Pretty baby,
put on some makeup.
King Love song.
Turn on the noise.
Pretty darling, let me sound salty so. She come my hand jump in your ears. Oh, nikushike, baby, nikushike. I need to say yeah. It's with you.
Baby, let's get in the mood. Hey, I wanna see the light just shining in your eyes.
Wanazi, baby, unishike baby, unishike. Say hold you tighter and sweeter. I wanna tender and deeper. I wanna tighter and sweeter. And deeper. La 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 la. Unishike, touch me. Yes, wagwan my people. Karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday to everyone who is who is with us on the radio station, to everybody who is just joining us on TikTok, on Twitter. I wanted to say Twitter, but anyway, shout out to everybody who is there with us, to everybody who is there with us on Facebook, and to everybody who is there on YouTube. Karibuni sana once again. My name is Katie, and this is, of course, the African Diary Show. To all those who are joining us for the first time, this is a show where we get to discuss matters concerning the African countries, or rather, the African people, their day-to-day life activities, and also what is happening in the African continent. And yesterday, we know Kenya is all over the news sites. Everybody is talking about Kenya. By the way, I've gone to all news sites and I'm seeing Kenya, 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 and all about protests. But it is very sad that we got to lose more than 20 lives. And I've seen right now it is the number has gotten to 22. And we know for sure they won't even come and say the total number of the lives we lost. But it is crazy and sad to see that we're keeping on losing people's lives. While this can be changed, while it is something that we can do to stop all these demonstrations and protestations. But anyway, karibuni sana. Get to interact with me, and do remember we are live and interactive on our media handles. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Black Hot Fire Network. To all those who are listening to me via the radio station, remember you can as well get to interact with me on the show page, on the live stream, because we are always live and interactive on our radio station as well. Remember, we also have a WhatsApp number, so in case you'd love to communicate to us about something, about an interview, about anything, you can just get a hold of us on 0705 428 388 0705 428 0705 428 388. Or to all those who are listening to us from away from Kenya, so many of you, I realize you don't know our code, so it is advisable for you to start with +2547, and then you just put the number without now the 07. You just put +2547, and then you start with 05 428 388. But karibuni sana once again. We are going back to one more jam, and then we will be back with our quote of the day. So in case you are there, you have a quote of the day. In case you're there, you have a motivational word, speech, or rather some words of wisdom. It is advisable, rather it will be very generous of you to share your quote of the day with us. Karibuni, get to enjoy this amazing jam by Sauti Sol.
Hey
Isabella,
how you gonna come out and dance
with me tonight?
The stars look beautiful outside,
So beautiful.
Tell your mama
I said sorry,
I didn't bring you
home early,
last time, and I was a little
tipsy.
I know she doesn't miss me, so put on those shoes that I like. I will go and dance with me away. Yeah. Because
Yellow, you only live once, so me, I wanna have some fun. My quote of the day says, what goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. And this simply means that the consequences of what you do will once come, and you'll face them because you did what you did, and now you have to pay for what you did. A simple reminder of keep doing good. Don't do that to people. Keep doing good to people. I'll to America. Isabella, we boda. Tomorrow we motoka. So put on that dress, the party tight, and we'll go and dance and away with you. But anyway, welcome back. That is Sauti Soul. The jam is Isabella. I hope you did get to jam onto it. Welcome to everybody who is just joining us. Now, kindly, if you're coming in, make sure you smash the like button as you get in. And to the first time listeners, kindly consider subscribing to our channels in case you're joining from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Karibuni sana once again. And yesterday we were talking about something that was happening the day before yesterday, and it was about the World Population Day and how they are coming with or how the West is coming with a propaganda of telling Africans that Africa is overpopulated. And right now, after that, the second thing I've seen them talking about is how now they should make sure that now abortions, or rather, they should facilitate abortions in Africa. And this is crazy. And I said this, and I told you, now the moment they start telling you about how Africa is becoming overpopulated, the next thing they will start telling you, you should now start taking birth control pills, or rather, you should now watch your fertility rate, and you're also getting you'll also be told that now it is time to start sterilizing our girls. You remember there was this project that was happening in 2015, and we were actually victims because they were giving this injection to every girl who was almost 12 years, and this was a sterilization project. And it is very crazy that so many girls took the injection, but right now they are back with an agenda of facilitating abortions in Africa. And this is because they are telling Africans Africa is overpopulated. But I talked about that yesterday, and I told you actually Africa is underpopulated. Africa has never been overpopulated. And to make sure that now Africa looks like it is overpopulated, this is why they are bringing asylum seekers, or rather refugees. They call the white people asylum seekers, but now when the black people even go to another African country, they are called refugees. It is just crazy. But now we've seen them trying to dump their people in Africa. We've seen them from Britain, or rather, we've seen the UK trying to dump their people in Rwanda. And what is that? They are trying to make sure that now Rwanda looks overpopulated and they can't handle, or rather, they cannot offer services to these people, so that it looks like Africa is getting overpopulated. They are not able to accommodate their own people. But it is just crazy. And please, Africa, don't buy the nonsense of being told that Africa is overpopulated, because we are actually underpopulated. And Museveni said this, but also I'm not happy with Museveni. Museveni is acting Kunli is still being a Kun. At the end of the day, after he did one good thing, I keep on telling you, they always do one good deed and then they start blinding you with that. But at the end of the day, he's still a Kun, he's still a puppet. But what is happening? Yesterday, Irani'S president was supposed to be coming to Kenya, and he actually came. And remember, yesterday we also had demos in Kenya. We had 3 groups, and one was postponed. But yes, but the drivers didn't know this. The PSV drivers didn't know this. They actually went out and started demonstrating as well. I saw this in some parts of Kenya. It was in Nyeri, Nanyuki, and not in Nairobi. At least some Nairobi drivers were aware of what is happening. But it is just crazy. I see Ann Sankenon is in the building. Karibu sana, you're saying peace farm, and also you're saying, hey Katie, you brought back your fishing and planting cap. Oh my god. This is not planting cap. This is not planting cap. It is not a fishing cap. And I keep on telling you, you should not talk about my caps and my clothes, because you all underdress. Just like General Mosquito loves to tell people they are overdressed. You all underdress, and that's why you will never understand the sense of fashion. But anyway, away from that, I was talking about population in Africa. And the reason we have World Population Day is to make sure that now some countries are feeling, or rather some continents are feeling lowered esteemingly, because like their esteem is lowered because they are told, your country is too small for you to hold, or rather to accommodate this number of people. And yesterday they came up, the day before yesterday, they came up with the bar graphs of how African countries and the funniest thing, nobody talks about India being overpopulated. Nobody talks about China being overpopulated. They always want to talk about Africa being overpopulated. Why is this? Why is this? Because there's a notion trying to be passed right here. There's something they're trying to communicate to us. But if you're blind, or rather if you're dumb and deaf, you won't get what they are trying to tell you. And right now, and I talked about this in the during the World Population Day, they were celebrating of the theme was to bring people together and to make sure that there's a world equality. It is, yes, there's gender equality. That was the theme of the year, of the World Population Date this year. They were making sure that there's a world equality, or rather gender equality. And by that, what does that mean? It is high time they start now putting you on this family planning, putting you on this unnatural ways of planning yourself, or rather controlling the birth control, or rather putting you on these unnatural ways of birth control. It is just crazy. With that, it is only Africans who are being told that we are overpopulated. Don't you find that this is just weird with how they always come? You are overpopulated, you are overpopulated, but they never talk about India. Let's talk about India. India is not even overpopulated. That country is overcrowded, but they never talk about that. They always talk about Africa being overpopulated. It is crazy. Unsunken one, please shut up. You don't know anything about fashion. You better keep quiet. But it is crazy with these people. But yesterday, I saw a video where they are talking about now introducing and facilitating abortions in Africa. And this was the whole agenda of this was the whole agenda of bringing this World Population Celebration date. But there's this video I'd love to share with you, and this is Mzungu talking about how they should facilitate abortions right here in Africa. And also, I have a video of our president, President William Ruto, talking about how he is supposed to continue with Gaddafi's mission in Africa. And it is just crazy. Let me just not get to that right now, because I'm going to talk about that as we continue with our show for today. Let me just share this video with of this European, talking about how they should facilitate abortions in Africa, and they should make sure that now abortions are happening in Africa. And why is this? Why is this? Why do they want to facilitate abortions in Africa? Why do you think they want to facilitate abortions in Africa? You know why. Of course, we know why. But let's get to listen to this video. Guys, can you see my screen? Let me know if you can see my screen. I think there's a lag. Okay, let's just wait for my screen to appear. Okay, yes, I bet you can see my screen now. Here is the video.
News. The world marks World Population Day today, but many in the West issue dire warnings that by 2050, the population could rise to 9.7 billion. According to these experts, the high fertility rates in Africa will be the cause behind this population surge. Africa's rising population is a growing concern for many in the West, as the continent is expected to roughly double its population by 2050, adding 1.2 billion humans to its current population of 1.4 billion humans. The main driver of population growth in Africa is high fertility rates, which is driven by multiple factors, including family size, better in the regions, an ever-improving healthcare system, and ever-growing economies. These latest statistics seem to greatly trigger many in the West who are experiencing a huge population collapse. This has led some Western policymakers to go full racist and even call for an outright culling of Africans. Just recently, the newly elected Finnish government was plunged into scandal after one of its key minister, Vilhelm Junnila, was forced to resign after it emerged he had called for Finland to support abortions in Africa to combat the climate crisis. Junnila, who was the economic affairs minister at the time, was one of 19 cabinet members who wrote at the time that it would be justified for Finland to shoulder its responsibility by promoting climate abortion, which he claimed would be a great leap forward for humanity. Several African countries have been for decades receiving funding from intergovernmental organizations, NGOs, and philanthropic billionaires to adopt national population policies aimed at reducing population growth in their countries. These policies aim to lower fertility rates and improve access to family planning services. Michael Herman, the economic advisor with United Nations Population Fund, warned, a growing population.
Why do they want to control the birth rates of Africans? You know, that is the question. That is the biggest question we should be asking ourselves. And remember, it was on this video, or rather in this video, they have talked about how they are feeling threatened by Africa's growth rates. So they are afraid of how we are becoming too many in the continent, and now they feel threatened by us. So it is one of the biggest ways to fight with us, and by fighting with us, they have to reduce us because they know they would never win the war in case we are too many of us. So this is one of the biggest ways to reduce the population of Africa, bringing these birth control pills, facilitating abortions, and we will get to a point that now abortion will be very legal in Africa. It is just crazy, and for us to be seeing this, we should now say woke that these people are highly against us. But anyway, keep on interacting, keep on letting me know what you think, and also keep on letting us know what are your thoughts about the conversation we're having. Do you think that these people are bringing these things to depopulate us? Because at the end of the day, they want the population low. They want the population they can be able to control, and this is why they are bringing all these ways of birth control to Africa. But let's get to finish with this video and get to the next video of President William Ruto.
Of course, poses a challenge in some areas. Many countries have set forth very ambitious development goals. They have decided to meet the needs of people in terms of education, healthcare, housing, food.
Yes,
water.
that is what they will tell you. And I told you, once you're not able to provide social services to the people, or rather to your people, they will come and tell you now, you know, you are overpopulated, and this is why you are not able to provide social services to your people. But the fact is, we are unable to provide these social services to our people because we are underdeveloped, not because we are too many in our countries. No, we are not too many, and we are actually underpopulated. So we are not too many for us to have the social services. It is just because we are underdeveloped, and just because we don't even have enough facilities. You'd go to a county, a big county like let's talk about Kiambu County, and it doesn't have enough hospitals for the people in the county. So it means that now it is the social facilities we lack, not that we have so many people in the county. It is just crazy. Also, count the number of schools, and also look at the schools we are talking about. The public schools, they are very bad. Very, very bad. You go to those classrooms, you feel like this is like a road. They look very bad, potholes all over the classrooms, and they are not good at all. But do you mean that we are overpopulated? That is why we cannot have good classrooms? No, we are underdeveloped, and also we lack good governance. That is why we don't have all this, and this is for a reason. Remember, poverty, it is a modern day slavery tactic that they have brought to Africa, right? Like they're trying to control us in the every possible way. So they keep us in poverty so that they be able to control us, so that they would be coming even to us, to those schools, and they tell you, you know, today we want to donate to you, and today we want to build you one classroom. And then after an year, they come back, today we want to build you a toilet. You know, this is how now they want to make sure that we are in poverty, so that they keep controlling us, so that they keep now their influence. And it is just crazy.
Energy and security. They want to create full employment for the people and a growing population. And also, it might come with growing pressures on the environment. Of quote. So as the world today, it is clear that the world has eyes on Africa.
Why only Africa? Why is the West upset about Africa's growth rate? Why is it that they are like upset, and also they feel perplexed with us growing? Why is it they are not even concerned with Asia, Australia? They just they just concerned with Africa. Why is this? You know, this is just something that you need to look at, and you feel like, oh, this is what they want. It is evident that they just want to control Africa. They're just interested with Africa, and this is why they are not concerned with other continents. They are just in Africa for a reason, and it is because they want to stop Africans from even taking back their power. This is what I feel. Yes, they are trying to make sure that now there are no more children being born, to make sure that now we don't become too many for us to be able to fight them. That is what they want. But in the meantime, you can as well let me know what you think. And as we continue, we shall get back to one more video. This is about President Ruto talking about continuing with what Gaddafi started. And I'm like, oh, we've seen you cooning all your life, and right now you're talking about continuing with what Gaddafi started. What do you mean? Yesterday he was with the Iranian's president, and it is just crazy what they talked about. We shall get back to that, but it is just crazy. And then he's still talking about continuing with the Gaddafi's agenda. You're mad, man. Yesterday we had so many people in the streets, and you are not even concerned. You are concerned with uniting with the Europeans. You're concerned with having meetings with the Europeans and selling out your country. You're not even concerned with your citizens. It is just crazy. But before we get to that video, let me go through my comments, or rather, let me go through your comments real quick as we continue with our show for today. And I see Ansan Kenon, you're saying, I'm the sharpest dressing member of Blackout Fire Network. You wish, brother. You wish. And also you're saying, my fashion is my personal voice. Go away. Get out of here. But I see Ansan Kenon, you're saying, that's why Shmani is my kindred spirit. Okay. Shout out to Cassius Williams. I see you in the building. And also I see Kid, you're saying, no, Katie, they want to stop African from taking back their power. Exactly what I said. They want to stop us from taking back our power. They want to make sure that now our population is too low, they can easily fight us. But I see also you're saying, because African people are supposed to be in the bottom. It is just crazy. Also, I see Kid, you're saying exactly 100%, Katie. Yes, asante sana for joining us, and kindly, if you're there, make sure you have smashed the like button. But as we continue, let me share this video of William Ruto talking about finishing what he started, and it is just crazy with him saying that now I want I want to continue with Gaddafi's agenda, Gaddafi's mission in Africa. It is just crazy. But anyway, let me share my screen. Kindly keep on interacting, and remember, we are always live even on the radio station. So in case you're there, you'd love to listen while you're driving, you can tune in on the radio station. This is the video of William Ruto. Of course, that accent is not even African.
due to his alleged involvement in bombings and support for terrorism. But what they often forget is that he was also a visionary who stood up against major powers, supported marginalized nations, and championed a united Africa with a single government, currency, and military. Gaddafi became the most prominent advocate for Pan-Africanism after the death of Kwame Nkrumah in 1972, eventually leading to the establishment of the African Union we know today. However, since Gaddafi's death, no African leader has been as vocal about African unity as Kenyan President William Ruto. This is because the cause of Gaddafi's death was quite controversial due to the fact that he fought for this cause. Since taking office in 2022, President Ruto has made some bold statements that have sparked speculation about whether he could be the next Gaddafi.
That it is not intelligent for 54 of us to go and sit before one gentleman from another place.
Will he follow in Gaddafi's footsteps and unite Africa under one banner? In this video,
This man is destroying Africa, and we've seen a lot of propaganda. And it is crazy. Even the accent is not African, so it is the Western people trying to paint his name and trying to make him look like a different person. But we know him. We know him. He's responsible of the lives we lost yesterday. Remember, the day before people went to Mandamano, the Cabinet Secretary of Interior Defense came out and talked about treating people like bandits with firearms. And this was clear enough that they are going to attack people with the firearms and also with guns and kill so many people. So he's responsible for all this. And yet he's talking about uniting Africans. How about first unite your people and then go to unite other people from other countries? You're just crazy.
we'll take a closer look at some of President Ruto's statements and explore the potential for a more united Africa. The African Union was established in 2002 to replace the Organization of African Unity, with its founders hoping to create a more united continent. While the organization has made some progress in developing continent-wide economic and political coordination, it has fallen short in finding African solutions to African problems and fostering a truly unified Africa. It's clear that the African Union has yet to fulfill Africa. Leaders
All propaganda with leaders. He's not a leader, he's a puppet. If he is a leader, he would even stop the demonstrations and do what Kenyans want. But it is just crazy. He's watching people die. Actually, his government is the one killing people. Yesterday, we lost 22 lives. Even children were tear gassed in schools. Imagine innocent children in schools learning, going on with their activities, were tear gassed. Ambulances had to go to those schools to take those children to hospitals. Can you imagine? And then this propaganda.
Potential for a brighter future for the continent. Let's explore the possibilities of a more united Africa and see what steps we can take to make this vision a reality. The European Union's member states are struggling with disunity due to differences in language, culture, and geography. Unfortunately, this has hindered progress on the continent that has suffered the most from colonialism and Western imperialism. Since the deaths of African leaders Kwame Nkrumah and Muammar Gaddafi, no other leader has emerged to fight for the cause of the continent until now. Since taking office in 2022, President Ruto has made it his mission to fight for Africa's rights and stand up against.
Which rights? We can't even exercise our own rights of going out there to demonstrate because you're telling your army, or rather your forces, to come and attack us. Yet you're telling us you're fighting for our rights. Which rights? Rights to die? Because this is what I feel like. Now everybody has a right to die in Kenya. We are entitled to death whenever you're going to demonstrate. He's talking about our rights. Which rights is he fighting for? This propaganda, it will never stop. Now they're trying to paint a whole different image of who Ruto is, as if we don't know him, as if he's not our president. Mind you, the person who is speaking behind this video is not even African. That accent is not even African.
The mistreatment of its leaders by developed countries. He has been
for the continent, vocal sellout. Not even vocal. He has been a sellout for the continent. He's selling out his country to every European. Yesterday was Iran. The other day was the US. He's selling us to every European. He's not even afraid of what might happen to even him. He's just selling us out. And then you're talking about him being vocal of African, the voice of Africans. Which Africans?
Parts. In fact, experts have compared President Ruto's speeches to those of famous Pan-Africanists like Kwame Nkrumah and Muammar Gaddafi, who dreamed of United States of Africa. At a recent summit in South Africa, President Ruto made a passionate plea for the continent to return to Pan-Africanism and protested against foreign powers mistreating Africa.
That African solutions can actually provide.
Lions the other day. Yesterday he said we extract metals from soil. And it is okay, we can do that, but has it even been successful in Africa? Which process is that we cannot be able to bring to Africa? Are you even able to mine your oil? Despite you talking about extracting metals from soil. You know, this man, every time he talks, he always talks about some nonsensical stuff. And right now, he's the voice of Africans. Stupid.
A standing ovation from other leaders. President Ruto spoke out against the weakening of individual sovereignty in 50 states and questioned why they needed to attend a US-Africa summit in Washington, D.C. When they could appoint a leader to represent them all and report back to them.
Because he wants to be a
In short, President Ruto is
by the way, on the YouTube, find so many videos like this. Everybody praising Ruto, and the accents are not even African accents. They are, and you remember the other video of them talking about how we should protect President Ruto because he's the savior of Africa. It is crazy. He's not even able to save his own people. He's killing his own people. Yet you're talking about him being the voice of Africa. Which Africans? We don't know him. We don't know the Ruto you're talking about. We know a different Ruto. Stop painting a whole image of of him. We know him.
Global conferences, they are often threatened with consequences if they don't attend. This in limited time to speak and are often reduced to mere photo sessions. This treatment of African leaders is unacceptable. Partners must be on equal terms, with foreign powers respecting Africa and its leaders. He wants the African Union reform program to be prioritized and member states to develop functional continental governing mechanisms to the African Union.
We don't love your propaganda, please.
And leaders are treated like school children. He talked about an incident in September 2022.
And sometimes
You're mistreated, and yet you still want to be a coon. You still want to work for these people. Yet you notice that you're mistreated.
Like school kids. You know? And it's not right.
He believes that this kind of trouble and needs a sector to charge fair interest rates on loans to developing countries. He believes that developed countries enjoy low interest rates of 0.5% development. He
This
wants a
is
win-win
him talking like Mnangagwa again. You remember Mnangagwa telling them to take 1%. These people, man, they talk like they've never even been into a maths class, yet they are your presidents. And the Europeans love this. They love this, and this is why they are making all this propaganda. They are very happy about it. They love seeing you cooning. They love you. They love seeing you going against your people. Yet you're their president. People believe in you, and they believe that you can bring a change to your country. Yet you're selling them out, and this is why these Europeans are very busy with making these videos.
in financial architecture that benefits everyone. Including emerging economies in Africa. President Ruto also
rates. We don't need their money. And now, just because you're fighting for fair interest rates, it means that you depend on them. Why don't you work hard or harder to make sure that your country is better and you don't have to depend on them? Why is You know, it is just crazy. Kenyans are dying because of hunger and starvation, drought and famine. Yet you're talking about equal treatment with the Europeans. They are laughing at you. They are trying to please them. But you don't see this. Then there's this person who made this video trying to pass all the propaganda, trying to make sure that people think that Ruto is the best person for Africa, for Kenya. He is the worst.
He also wants to see reforms at the United Nations Security Council that will benefit countries.
Right now, he's talking about loans. He's talking about equal lending interest rates. Why is he talking about this? If we can make our own currency, why are you getting loans from the Europeans? You know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Even a single second. It doesn't make sense. It is just propaganda.
With Africa having 2 permanent seats. During a speech at a summit in Zambia, President Ruto called for a single African currency to ease intra-African commerce and eliminate integration, and for African nations to trade together and integrate more effectively. President Ruto has also joined the growing chorus of African nations should abandon the use of the US dollar for
Karen, he's talking about the African. I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard. It's okay, we're back. Yeah, so StreamYard is misbehaving. My apologies. But yes, that video actually has gone to the end. And I'm not even happy about that, because that is propaganda. And so many people will believe that video. They will believe that Ruto is the best president for the country and also for the continent. But at the end of the day, he is a sellout. He is a puppet. He's selling African people. He's selling out Kenyan people, Kenya, the country itself, to those Europeans. Yet, we are supposed to believe that he is the new Gaddafi for Africans. He is bringing unity to Africans. How is he uniting Africans while he cannot be able to unite his citizens in Kenya? You know, it is just crazy how he was busy meeting with the Iranian president yesterday, and Kenyans were out demonstrating. And he left now the interior security cabinet secretary to deal with the protesters. We saw so many children being hospitalized. Was it? Yeah, it was 53 children being hospitalized because they were tear gassed. And they were not outside. These children were in their classes, continuing with their studies, but they were tear gassed in their classes. Imagine what type of police brutality is this? Because this is brutality. Why would you throw tear gas in a school? It is just crazy. We had let me just read something here. 53 children were rushed to hospital in Nairobi after tear gas was thrown into their class by police during protests on Wednesday. That was yesterday. Dr. Aaron Shikuko from Eagle Nursing Home Hospital told the BBC the children were released after being treated. He said they had suffered from breathing difficulties and shock. There were demonstrations around the country called by the opposition over the rising cost of living, but they turned deadly. 6 people were killed, and it was on that side. We had more than 22 people losing their lives. Human rights bodies, however, put the number of those dead at 12. Stop lying to people. There are other news sites coming with the different numbers. So tell us the truth. We are already seeing the lies in the media. Tell us the truth. We know so many people died. And we know the agenda of these policemen out there with the live bullets was to kill people. So stop lying to people. Stop lying to people. You are just crazy with the now coming and telling us that 12 people died, 6 people died. It is just crazy. On the same information, they are talking about 6 people dying, and on the same paragraph, they are still talking about it was only 12 people who died. You know, this is how you get even to know they are lying to you. They are not giving you the correct information. We know so many people lost their lives. There was this man that was shot 3 times. And you can see there's even a clip going around of this man being shot. It is just crazy. Crazy. This is now crimes against humanity, and he will never go to ICC because he can escape that. Because he's being protected. You know, yet people want us to believe that he is the best president. People want us to believe that he is bringing a revolution to Africa. No, don't be fooled. This person is a killer. He's making sure that people... Why do you want to kill people? Your own people. Why did you even authorize your cabinet secretary to say all this? To tell now the police they can go there with the live bullets. It is just crazy. I'm just unhappy even by seeing now children were involved in this. Children who are in classrooms learning. They even don't understand what mandamano is, and then they got tear gassed. It is just insane. But I see General Mosquito, you're saying, peace Ansan Canon, karibu sana General Mosquito. I see Ansan Canon, you're saying fake farmer president. Yes, he's a fake farmer. And also you're saying exactly, they are laughing at you, not with you. Yes, they always laugh at you. And now they laugh at how you see these people. They see how you selling out your own people. But I see Kid, you're saying using live bullets are international crime, Katie. Yes, but in Kenya, it's no longer an international crime. They can escape from that. They can kill people as long as they want. It is crazy. Ansan Canon, you're saying he does not want to be the yard with the Katie, the short caller. You're making fun and it's not funny. It is just crazy with that. But anyway, let's get to the main focus of the day. This is about Irani'S Raisi beginning a trip to African country, and he started with Kenya when Kenyans were busy out of the streets, or rather in the streets, demonstrating and getting shot by those policemen, getting attacked, and it was just chaotic yesterday. You'd see even people were also very bad with that, because I don't understand why you need to destroy the resources just for you to be heard. It is crazy that now Kenyans destroyed the roads, they destroyed people's properties, but the worst part is that so many people lost their lives. But Iran has recently stepped diplomatic outreach to developing countries with the trips to Latin America and now Africa. Why are they coming to Africa? Why is Irani's president coming to Africa? And Iran's president Ibrahim Raisi has received a red carpet welcome from Kenyan counterpart William Ruto as he began a three-country tour of Africa on Wednesday that Tehran has touted as a new beginning in relations with the continent. It is just crazy. What is there in Iran? The only thing I hear coming from Iran is war. Anyway, Raisi's trip to Africa will also take him to Uganda. Zimbabwe is the first by Iranian president in more than a decade, a bid to diversify economic ties in the face of crippling sanctions from the United States. The trip, which has due to begin on Tuesday, was delayed by a day to finalize memorandums of understanding which Raisi and Ruto were to sign, according to Kenya's foreign ministry. Iranian and Kenyan ministers have signed 5 memorandums of understanding on Wednesday related to information, technology, fisheries, livestock products, and investment promotion, the government announced. It is just crazy. They are coming here for our food, yet we cannot even feed our own people. Now we have to import food to Iran while our own people are dying. It is just crazy with this president, with this best president of yours. At a press briefing after meeting Ruto, Raisi, who has previously described Africa as a continent of opportunities, of course, this is how they see us. Continent of opportunities. Said he wanted to boost commercial ties with African countries. None of us are satisfied with the current volume trade and the current economic exchange between countries, he said. Iran's foreign ministry said on Saturday that it expects trade with African countries to increase to more than $2 billion this year without providing a comparative figure for 2022. Because they have never traded with Kenya again. The Kenyan president said he had sought Raisi's commitment to facilitate the export of more Kenyan tea, meat, and other agricultural products to Iran and via Iran to Central Asian countries. This is just stupid. Now, our own people are dying here because we cannot feed them. We are food insecure. But now the little we are doing, the little food we have, you want it to take to Iran too? You want to take it to Iran too? Under Ruto, Kenya is struggling with the debts and rising cost of living. With the protests expected to continue on Wednesday in the capital, Nairobi, and elsewhere, Iran stepped up its diplomatic outreach to developing world countries after then U.S. President Donald Trump ditched a nuclear pact in 2018 and reimposed sanctions. In June, Raisi visited Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua to show up support for allies also saddled with the U.S. sanctions. It is just crazy. And you know why they are doing all this? Is to make sure that they gain influence in Africa, to make sure that they have a chance and an opportunity to continue stealing our resources. It is just crazy with how now we're giving them the opportunity to do that. Also, I saw him talking about the West forcing homosexuality on Africans. Iranian president accused the West of promoting homosexuality in Africa. And you know, he'd talk about this because he's an Arabic, or rather his country is Arabic. So you know how tight they are with their religions and their practices. So they would even he would talk about this. But Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi visited Uganda on Uganda. He went to Uganda yesterday after Kenya. I didn't know, but on Wednesday, as part of a diplomatic push to break the country's isolation. In his speech, Raisi criticized the Western nations, accusing them of promoting homosexuality. This was his speech, having the culture of establishing and forming a family, and at the same time, the culture of geniuses is another common point between Iran and Uganda. We pay great attention to the issues of establishing families, and we believe that it is a fundamental principle. The West is today trying to promote the idea of homosexuality, and of course, by homosexuality, they are trying to end the generation of human beings, and at the same time, they are acting against the inherence and the nature of the human beings. I believe that is the issue, and these strong attacks by the West against the establishment of families and against the culture of the nations is another area of cooperation for Iran and Uganda. And this is how you get deceived, thinking that now he's your ally, and thinking that the US now are the only enemies you have. Right now, the Ugandans, or rather Museveni, is being fooled by Iranian's president Raisi to believe that the West are the only enemies you have because they are telling you to pass homosexuality. And this is how still he will gain, or rather he's getting to get to your resources. You're creating a path for him to get to your resources. But Uganda has recently passed an anti-gay legislation to widespread international condemnations. The African visit is first by an Iranian leader in more than a decade as the country continue under heavy US economic sanctions. And it is just crazy now. Right now, it is a war between the West and even the Asians, other continents, and they are trying to put this on Africans. It is a war we are not involved, but just because they all know Africa is wealthy and they all benefit from Africa, they want to now fight and compete who will win Africa. It is crazy, but the only thing here to be said, or rather to be heard, is Africa needs to wake up. Africans, you need to realize these people are coming to your countries because you're wealthy, and they are getting, or rather they are getting close to you, not because they love you, not because they love your country, but they love whatever is in Africa. Not Africans, they love the resources that are in Africa. And this is why they are getting closer to you every day, every day, every day. You need to realize your worth a lot, and this is why they are all fighting for you. Yes, this is why they are all fighting for you. And with that, we come to the end of our show for today. Asanteni sana to all those who have been with us. Ansanken Key, the General Mosquito, Cassius Williams, and who else was in the building? Isoke Williams? No, he wasn't in the building. And to the rest of the silent listeners, Asanteni sana, and to everybody who joined us, please make sure you don't leave without smashing the like button. Kwaherini, much love. Enjoy the rest part of your day, but don't forget to join us on the next episode of The Word of the Streets. We shall be going out again with the Shmani on these streets of Rongai. Kwaherini. Enjoy the rest part of your day. I'm leaving you with this jam that we started our show with. Okay.
Greetings and salutations, Master News and Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio. And you're listening to the African Diary Show with Kati. Madison, stay tuned. Turn off the lights,
Baby.
put on some makeup.
Making love song.
Turn down the noise.
Pretty darling.
Play me some loud.
Tis so. Nimeshikwa na mahanja, zanipanda mahanja.
Let me whisper in your ear.
Baby, it's time. Ooh, nikushike, baby.